This is a tutorial on how to perform a DMAC. Now you only want to perform a DMAC after you have already received the patient's MOCA or mini-mental, and the score was between an 11 and 26. So to begin the DMAC, you're going to look for an icon like the one in the top left corner. It looks like a brain with gears, and it's labeled DMAC. You'll open the app. And here we've already started test, so I'm going to click do a new test. Now the first time you ever log in to the DMAC, it's going to ask you for an email and password. This can be provided to you by your ED. Next, every time you open the app after that, you'll see a list of patients. You'll select the patient that you want to perform the DMAC on. The patient will already be entered by the office into the Leica system, so their name should be displayed here. We're going to work on the test patient. We're going to start a new test, which normally it won't ask you this, but it's a test patient. You're going to agree and start. Done. Now, you'll want to read the instructions in your own words, and after you've performed the DMAC a couple times, you will be able to format it in your own words to make it easier for both you and the patient to understand, but the directions are provided for you as well. So in this portion, 5 photos will flash for 5 seconds, and the patient will be asked to recall them now and again at the end of the exam. After all the pictures are shown, you can hit Next. Now, anytime you see red lettering, it means the answers are about to be shown. So you want to take the iPad or the tablet and look at it for yourself. At this point, you'll ask the patient to recall what 5 pictures they were shown. As the patient says which pictures they can remember, you simply tap the ones that they can recall. So if they say they saw a pin, you just tap pin. After the patient can't recall anymore, you'll hit the Next button. On this following part, 5 words will be spoken this time, and the patient will be asked to recall them now and again at the end of the exam. You want to make sure your volume's turned all the way up for this, and you can also hold the tablet up to the patient's ear to make it easier for them to hear.
Banana, clock, nose, tiger, picture.
You'll select Next, and again, here's the red letters, which means you'll want to look at the tablet because it's about to give you the answers. You will simply select the answers as the patient says them, and then hit Next. For the next portion, you will hold the tablet and ask the patient the questions and type in the responses. So you'll simply read the patient these questions. So to the right is the grocery store, to the left is the auto shop, straight ahead is the library. Which direction do you go to get milk? Now you notice as I start typing, the previous answer I typed in already popped up. If your tablet does this, it means your auto typing's on and we'll want to take that off. So to do that, you go back to your home screen, go to Settings, and you'll want to go down and find this General Management on the left. From there, you're going to select Language and Input. Then you're going to select your default keyboard. Make sure it says Samsung keyboard. And then you're going to select On-Screen Keyboard. Select the Samsung keyboard. And you'll see where it says Smart Typing. Click on that. And turn off where it says predictive text, because we don't want that on. From here you can close back out, return to your DMAC. Yes, we want to continue our incomplete test. Select the patient. So we're going to return to this portion, and that shouldn't ever be turned on again. So it should be easy from here on out for you. So you'll simply go through these questions with the patient, type in their responses. For some of these, like for example this one, where the answer is $4, you could type this a number of ways. You could either type it in as $4 like that. You could simply just put 4. You could type out 4. Or you could even put $4. It's made to take a variety of answers as long as it's the appropriate answer. Same thing with this one. You can put half an hour, 30 minutes. This one could be 911, the police officers, cops. The same thing for this portion. You're going to hold the tablet, ask the patient the questions, and type in the responses. And this one could be a variety of answers as well. 60, 65, 70. We're just making sure they're not going to put 20, 25, something like that. Okay, now a short story is going to play. The patient will be asked to recall it now and again at the end of the exam.
John Hampton of New York plans to go to Greece for 6 days with his 2 best friends over Christmas vacation. He packed 4 pairs of clothes, a camera, and his favorite black jacket. He met his friends at the airport and bought a pair of gloves from the airport.
Okay, you'll ask the patient to recall as many details as they can from the story. Again, you'll simply tap them as they say them. Same thing here, a second short story will play. They'll be asked to recall it now and again at the end of the exam.
Mary Nottingham was cleaning the storage room in her house. She found a crystal vase, old jewelry, and a painting from the Renaissance period. She went to an annual antique show 3 weeks later. She was thrilled as she made $492.
You'll ask the patient to recall what they can remember. Select the answers as they say them. After they've completed all the answers they can remember, hit next. Now on this part, this is the same activity that is on the MOCA. So what they're going to be doing is they'll simply tap and they'll go from letter, number, in increasing order. And all you have to do is tap on the next one. So for the 6, we're not going to drag our finger. We're just simply going to tap on the 6. So we tapped on the M first, and then we tap on the 6. Now that we've tapped on the 6, we're going to tap on the next letter, which would be N, then number, letter, letter. Keep going. An audio now will play a combination of numbers. And then you can do this one of two ways. You can hold the tablet up to the patient's ear, let them hear, and then type in the number for them. Or if they're more capable, they can type it in themselves. There are 10 different numbers in this series. They get increasingly hard. So I always tell patients at the beginning of the exam that this test is made to put their brain on fire. It's made to test things they don't even know that they're testing. And it's made to be incredibly challenging. And nobody ever gets everything right. So not to get frustrated. This is the most strenuous process of all the regained memory, just because we are trying to figure out what that patient needs to work on. So I do let them know that ahead of time. And like I said, there will be 10 of these, and they get increasingly harder.
5, 6, 2, 8. 9, 6, 8, 5. 2, 4, 3, 6, 7. 9, 7, 4, 5, 1. 8, 3, 5, 9, 2, 6. 9, 8, 0, 1, 5, 6. 4, 5, 1, 8, 7, 9, 2. 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 3, 4. 5, 6, 3, 8, 7, 3, 2, 1. 6, 0, 4, 2, 3, 6, 8, 7.
On this next part, a drawing will be shown for 10 seconds, and then the patient will be asked to recreate the drawing. Now up top you can see you can select whether they want to draw a square or draw a line. So if we tap draw a square, then you can hold your finger down and drag it and create a square. Or we can tap draw a line, and you'll hold your finger down, draw your line, then release it. Like this. So if you want to do a triangle, you could do it like this. Or we can go back to draw a square, hold it down, get our square, release it. On this next part, an image will be shown. After the image disappears, the patient will be given 4 choices, and they'll have to tap the image that they think they saw. This is another set of number combinations. There will be 10 in this as well. This is by far the hardest part of the exam because a series of numbers will be spoken, but this time the patient will have to repeat them backwards. So in other words, if it says 789, then the patient would have to say 987. And there's 10 of these as well.
4, 3, 5. 2, 1, 8. 6, 9, 5, 8. 8, 4, 3, 9. 7, 4, 3, 9, 2. 4, 3, 6, 7, 9. 9, 6, 5, 7, 2, 1. 6, 4, 2, 1, 9, 8.
This is where you want to remind the patient that this is made to test things they don't realize and that nobody ever gets this part perfect.
4, 5, 1, 8, 7, 9, 2. 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 3, 4.
Okay, and since that part's so hard, this part's kind of made to give the patient a little breather and a little break in there. So you'll simply ask the patient to name as many colors as they can, and you'll tap on the colors as they say them. And you only want to give them about a minute to do this, and this is just to kind of give them a break here. After they've named all they can, you'll hit next. Now here, they're given 2 groups and 6 words. So you're going to want to drag 3 in one group and 3 in the other that go together. So for example, here we would drag with our finger Paris, which is a city. So also Rome and New York, since they're both cities. So you'll want to explain this to the patient and have them drag them to the boxes with their finger. And there's several sets of these, so when they finish one, just hit next and it'll go to another one. Okay, now you're going to ask the patient to recall the photos they saw at the front of the exam. And again, you're just going to tap them as they say them and recall them. And hit next when they can't remember anymore. Now this part you want to warn them to get ready because this part does go fast. So you'll see where it says square and triangle. Get them ready. What they're going to do is you're going to tap on the opposite. So every time that they see a triangle, they need to tap square. Every time they see a square, they need to tap triangle. So tell them to get their fingers ready because it's going to go kind of fast here. Okay, now in this next part, you're going to ask them to recall as many of the details as they can from the first story that they heard, and you'll tap on them as they say them. This is testing their delayed recall because every patient that's on the regained memory always has to work on delayed recall. A lot of them do okay with immediate recall, meaning that they can remember stuff right then, immediately after they hear it, but they can't remember it a few minutes later. So that's what we're working on here. So you just want to tap them as they say them. Hit next when they can't go anymore. Same thing on this one. You're going to ask them to recall as many things they can about the second story. And you'll just tap them as they say them. Okay, now this is our last set of numbers. Again, there will be 10 in this set. But the difference here is that instead of hearing them, this time they're going to be shown for 10 seconds. Okay, on this next part, you'll ask the patient to hit where it says tap down there every time they see the letter V appear. Now this can be a letter V turned any which way, just as long as it's the letter V. And again, tell them to get ready because it goes kind of fast. Okay, now you're going to ask them to recall the 5 words that they heard at the beginning of the exam. These were the spoken words. And you'll just tap them again as they say them. Then hit next. And this is the end of the exam. These are the patient results. So you'll see at the top up here, we have different categories. We have the immediate visual recall, which the score here was a 70. And underneath it, it breaks it up by the games. The next is the auditory recall, the delayed recall, which is what most of these patients have a hard time with. Then we have disinhibition, attention, executive, semantic and language, number recall, working memory, as well as cognitive down there as well. So it'll also pull up this graph for you so you can see a visual of the areas they need to work on. All these categories you'll see here, the visual recall, auditory recall, disinhibition, all these are the actual game categories within Leica. So whenever you start playing the games with the patient, you'll see that these are the categories you can work on. Now, it gives you the exact patient plan you need to work on. So if you see below, down here it says, based on the DMAC report, following are the recommended exercises. So it'll give you a whole list of the exercises that particular patient needs to work on. Next, what you're going to do after you've viewed it is hit submit down here in the bottom right. And then it will email the patient a copy as well. So you can just hit yes, that's a correct email, submit the response, and you are done. That's how easy it is to do a DMAC. We've done it now under 30 minutes with the explanation. And good luck.